Hello everyone, welcome in to the PokerGO studio. This is the Big Blind. I'm Jeff Platt. Here in Las Vegas, Nevada, we are bringing you the ultimate test of knowledge on all things poker, Vegas, and gambling related, and that test will be served to three of the brightest men on the planet on another episode. For this episode, we have the Barstool guys. Just kidding, absolutely love their work. Hard to find a more popular site. First up, Rolling Stone calls him the unintentional president of the new school in sports media. Quite the title for one of the hosts of the Barstool Sports Podcast, Pardon My Take. Pro Football Talk commenter PFT, how are you?
I'm great. That was an awesome quote that you just made up because I've never heard that before, but that's going on my tombstone.
It was a pretty good one. I mean, one more time, the unintentional president of the new school in sports media. Now, we haven't seen you play poker, PFT. I guess there's a chance you'd be worse than these next two guys. What do you think?
I think there's a very, very significant chance that I'm much worse.
Okay. I mean, we know this next guy has some skills because he finished 529 in the biggest live poker tournament in the history of the world. He hosts Cracking Aces, Barstool's poker podcast. It is Barstool. Nate, did you spend the $3,700 in prize money yet from the Big 50?
It didn't even get out of Vegas, Jeff. I left it all in Vegas.
That was a good run.
But she was very nice. She was very, very nice.
It sounds quite nice.
By the way, I don't know how my webcam is set up right now. You guys can't see the girls in the bed behind me, right?
No, but if they want to pop in here and there, that's totally fine. Completely
I just
acceptable.
wanted to make sure because that would be really embarrassing if people knew that I had sex.
You know, embarrassing is a strong word. Rounding out our group, he is one of Nate's friends or enemies. I guess it just depends on the day. He hosts Barstool's esports podcast, Barstool Game Time. Barstool Smitty, you're becoming quite the Fortnite player, huh? Are you just done with poker now?
No, I will never be done with poker, no matter how much I win or lose, and I'm happy to hear I have a podcast too. That's very good. Thank you very much.
It is fantastic. Thank you all for joining us. Let's set the scene for today. Our three players will start with 10,000 in chips. We use a limit hold'em betting structure. Now, before our pre-flop action begins, players will see the hand's category. They can base their betting on their confidence level in that category. Levels 1 and 2 consists of trivia questions from that topic. We'll have a question for the flop, we'll have a question for the turn, we'll have a question for the river. Those questions get progressively more difficult. Now, once you send in your answers, we open up another betting round. You know the answer? Probably be nice to put in a bet, maybe even a raise. You don't know the answer, and you think a bluff might get through? Might be nice to fire a bet or fire a raise. Now, if two or more players remain in the hand after the turn, we'll go to the river, which will always be set up as a tiebreaker question. Level 3 is against the house, where you'll get a chance to bet up to all of the chips that you've accumulated against us. More on that coming up later. This is a first round matchup. If you win today, or if you finish second today, you are on to the quarterfinals. You make it all the way to the finals, and you would be in the money. Third place, $5,000. Second place, $10,000. And first place, $15,000. Now, we have to put something else on the line for our outright winner today. Now, we know PFT is fairly new to the poker world. We know Smitty and Nate might need just a little help here and there. So we have one of the most advanced training methods around. We have the World Series of Poker electronic Texas Hold'em. Zoom in on Dave. Get a nice tight shot here. Now, it says on the box, I can work the box into the mix too, that legends are made one hand at a time. Perfect, right? Is that enough on the line for you gentlemen?
Yeah, Jim Abbott said that.
Let's do it.
No, that's great.
All right, then let's do it. Here we go. Level 1. The blinds are 100, 200. That means you can bet 200 on the flop, 400 on the turn. We hit the dramatic music. Since we clearly have two seasoned pros here in Nate and Smitty, we'll give PFT the button to start play today. Nate is in the small blind. Smitty is in the big blind. Let us take a look at the first hands category. That category is Poker in Hollywood. When poker hits the big screen, PFT on the button, you'll lead off our betting. You can raise, call, or fold.
Raise.
Going to raise it up over to Nate in the small blind.
I call.
Nate makes the call. Smitty in the big.
We'll call it.
Smitty calls as well. We are three-handed to this flop. Let's take a look at the flop question. In a 2006 Bond film, James Bond plays poker against the villain Le Chiffre in what fictional Montenegro-based casino? Send in your answers, please. Daniel Craig plays James Bond for the very first time in this film. He's quite the poker player, as we see in this scene.
I like this music.
It's pretty cool. It really enhances the drama, huh? You just know there's got to be something on the line when we hit this music.
Oh, Jim Abbott had one arm. I get it.
All right, our answers are in.
Not just a hat rack there, Smitty.
Nate, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
Check.
Going to check it over to Smitty. Smitty, you can fire a bet or check as well.
Check.
Checks it over to PFT on the button. PFT, you can check or bet.
Bet.
I'm guessing that means bet. That does mean bet. Over to Nate in the small blind. You can raise, call, or fold.
I fold.
Going to lay it down here on the flop. Over to Smitty.
I think I answered the question. I think I answered the wrong question.
Oh.
But I'll still call.
But still going to make the call. All right, before we see
Interesting strategy in a trivia show.
Before we see what Smitty weighed in with, let's check out the correct answer. The correct answer is Casino Royale, the name of the movie as well.
Okay, there you go.
There goes Nate. That movie, of course, included the super standard straight flush, over full house, over ace-high flush. Let's see who got this one right. You saw Nate roll back in the chair. He fired off a guess of Borgata, so it was smart for him to fold. Smitty, you actually did have it right. You had Casino Royale. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
And
I did not realize the name of the movie, the name of the casino.
Gotcha. PFT also had Casino Royale. So both Smitty and PFT move on to our turn. Let us see that turn question. In the 1992 comedy Honeymoon in Vegas, Nicolas Cage plays a backroom poker game that includes which legendary college basketball coach? Answers, please. Plays a backroom game that includes which college hoops coach? James Caan and Sarah Jessica Parker also star in this film. Not quite sure why they had to go to a backroom to play poker in Las Vegas, but here we are. All right, our answers are in. Smitty, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
I will check.
Checks it over to PFT. PFT.
Check.
PFT is going to check as well before we see what our players said. Let's take a look at the correct answer. That answer is Jerry Tarkanian. Tark, one of the best coaches of all time, led UNLV to a title. Who got this one right? Smitty said Bobby Knight. That is incorrect. PFT, if he gets this, he wins this hand. He said Jerry Tarkanian. And just like that, PFT takes down our first hand of the day. PFT becomes our chip leader. He has 11K in chips. Nate has 9,600. Smitty has 9,400. Nate will have the button for this hand. That means Smitty is in the small blind and PFT is in the big blind. Let's take a look at our second hand's topic. Texas Dolly. Doyle Brunson, the legend. Nate, you're on the button. You'll lead off our betting. Raise, call, or fold.
I raise.
Going to raise it up. Smitty in the small blind.
Call.
Makes the call. PFT in the big blind. You can raise, call, or fold.
Call.
PFT is going to call as well. 1,200 in the middle as we take a look at our flop question. What professional sport was Doyle recruited for before a knee injury ended his career? Answers, please. Doyle, quite the athlete. This injury quickly turned into poker, which probably worked out in the long run. All right, our answers are in. Smitty, you can check or bet.
Check.
Going to check it over to PFT.
I actually know this one, so bet. Let's do it.
PFT is going to fire off on the flop, says he knows it. Nate, what do you think?
I raise.
Nate's going to raise it up, says he knows it. Smitty.
I have no idea what it is, but I feel confident in my answer.
And that means
Check.
you call.
You have to say.
Call.
That means call. PFT?
Yeah, I'll call.
PFT will call as well. Let's take a look at the correct answer. That answer is basketball. He played at Hardin-Simmons University and was the Border Conference Player of the Year. Now is that time to see what our players weighed in with. Smitty said American football. That is incorrect. PFT said football as well. Also incorrect. So we move on to Nate. If he gets this, he wins the hand. Nate says basketball and Barstool. Nate has his first win of the day. Barstool Nate becomes our chip leader. He has 11,200 in chips. PFT has 10.2K. Smitty, our shortest stack, with 8,600, but still lots of time in this one. Smitty has the button here, PFT in the small blind, Nate in the big blind. Let's take a look at our next hands category. That category is video poker. Now, you guys do all strike me as degenerate gamblers, so I'm sure you've spent some time at the video poker machines at bars. Is that a safe assumption?
Once or twice, yeah.
Yeah, once or twice. All right, here we go. So with the video poker category, Smitty on the button will lead off our betting. You can raise, call, or fold.
I'll call.
Going to make the call over to PFT in the small blind. You can
call.
raise, call, or fold. Makes the call. Nate, you can check or raise.
I check.
Going to check. Let us see our flop question. The weakest hand that pays on most video poker games is jacks or blank. Answers, please. What's the hand you can at least get your money back on in most video poker games? Jacks or what? Nate trying to maintain his chip lead. 5 seconds. All right, our answers are in. PFT, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
Check.
Going to check over to Nate. Nate, you can check or bet.
Check.
The knock on the table signifies the check over to Smitty. You can check or bet. Going to
Raise
raise
that
it up, meaning that he bets over to PFT. You can call raise or fold.
I'll fold.
Going to lay it down onto Nate.
I call.
Yeah, you
A very hesitant call there. Let's take a look at what the correct answer is. Better. Jacks or better. If we're talking what type of video poker to play, I strongly recommend double bonus because you get paid off a bit more on quad.
Jacks or better is a specific game to play. The weakest hand on most video poker game is you either get jacks
right,
or
but it also
this.
qualifies as a hand ranking jacks or better.
Come on, Smitty. This is day one stuff.
You are correct.
I actually had that.
You can file an official complaint to the Nevada Gaming Commission when we are done with this show. PFT made the right fold because he said tens. We go on to what Nate said. Nate said better. Jacks are better. That is correct. You can probably guess that Smitty got this one wrong based on the complaint that was wagered after the fact. Smitty said two pair. That is incorrect. Nate has won his second hand in a row. So Nate extends that chip lead.
Better's in a hand. That's what I'm saying. Like what's
right?
I can't.
That's what we asked. We said what is the weakest hand?
I think it was a great written question, perfectly answered by Nate. I have no problem with it.
Thank you.
Thank you, PFT.
Thank you, PFT.
And Nate, do you agree?
Yeah, I think it was a very well-written question and not confusing at all.
Okay. I believe majority rules here, Smitty. Very, very sorry about that. So again, Nate wins that one. He takes hands 2 and 3. PFT, though, got the first round. All right, we put a bow on level 1. We raised the stakes in level 2. Next.
Better isn't a hand. I don't understand how that's a hand.
You just had to fill in the
Jacks are
blank. That's all you had to do.
I have no further comment on this matter. Yeah, lawyer up.
That's a game you play on video poker. That's not a hand. Like, I cannot raise, bet, or fold in the World Series of Poker a hand that is better.
Welcome back to the Big Blind, taking a look at the chip counts. Nate, our chip leader with 11,800 in chips. PFT has 10K. Smitty, our shortest stack at 8,200. Smitty, where in the world are you coming to us from? Grandmother's bedroom?
Yeah. My mom is a grandmother now, so technically that is correct.
Okay, well, congratulations, sir. That is a lovely bedroom.
There you go.
Very nice. So the bed looks quite comfortable, I must say.
Surprisingly not. But
Wait, you sleep in your mom's bed?
do I sleep in my mom's bed?
Sure. You just said it wasn't that comfortable, so.
I've slept in this bed before, yes, but because it's not that comfortable.
All right, we move on to level 2, 200, 400. And remember, we are not just playing here to move on to the quarterfinals. We are playing for the wonderful World Series of Poker Electronic Texas Hold'em. It'll turn on eventually on one of these takes. It actually uses the same electronics as the solvers that today's high rollers use. All right, back to work. We go level 2. The blinds are 200, 400. That means you can bet 400 on the flop, 800 on the turn. PFT has the button. Nate is in the small blind. Smitty is in the big blind. Let's take a look at our first hands category. That category is poker playing celebs, besides you three, of course. PFT on the button leads off our betting. You can raise, call, or fold.
I'll call.
Going to make the call over to Nate in the small blind.
I will call.
Nate's going to call as well. Smitty in the big, you can check or raise.
Raise it up.
Raise it up, he says. Back to PFT. Call, raise, or fold.
Yeah, I'll call.
Going to make the call. Nate.
I'm gonna call.
Going to call as well. We are three-handed to the flop. Let's take a look at this flop's question. This American Pie actress has cashed in 4 World Series of Poker events. Answers, please. American Pie, released in 1999, made more than $235 million at the box office. Who from that movie has cashed in 4 WSOP events? 5 seconds. About to call the clock on somebody. Great, our answers are in. So we'll open up a betting round. Nate, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
I check.
Going to check it over to Smitty.
Check.
Smitty's going to check as well over to PFT.
I'm gonna raise.
PFT is going to bet on this flop. Nate.
Jeez. It's because I don't know if the judges are gonna take my answer. I'm going to call.
Nate is going to make the call over to Smitty.
I can't call. I can't. I won't.
You could raise if you wanted, but I'm guessing that's a fold.
Well, I mean, if this is no limit, like, game would be over already, but it's fixed, so everyone would call. So
True.
I have to fold.
A bluff might be a poor idea in this spot. All right, let's take a look at the correct answer. That answer is Shannon Elizabeth. Some of you remember her for her role as a foreign exchange student by the name of Nadia in American Pie. I, of course, only remember her from her deep run in the 2007 NBC National Heads Up Championship. Let's look at what Smitty said first, because he said, I had zero idea what her name is, none, but I can easily see her naked anytime I close my eyes. Thank you very much, 12-year-old Smitty. I think we all have 12-year-old Smitty to thank. Barstool Nate weighed in with Elizabeth Shannon, then clarified and came in with Elizabeth. So judges, are we taking this one? Yes, we are taking this one, and that is correct.
Elizabeth Shannon, I don't know.
We go over to PFT.
PFT, you can't say Elizabeth, Shannon. I take it.
I then
Elizabeth,
put,
if there was a comma there.
Elizabeth after I wrote Shannon. So I wrote Elizabeth Shannon.
So then you clarified that her first name was Elizabeth.
Yeah, then I switched it.
All right, whatever.
Question.
I got it wrong anyway, so good job.
PFT said Allison.
Elizabeth, would that...
Yes, if it was just Elizabeth, that is correct. That's why they are ruling it as a correct answer. So Nate, after all that.
Oh, well, no. If PFT got it wrong, obviously it's wrong. Like, you should...
Yeah, Nate got it right. Nate got it right. So Nate has won his 3rd hand in a row. Nate with 13,800 in chips. PFT with 8,800. Smitty with 7,400. But there's a long game left. For this hand, Nate has the button. Smitty is in the small blind. PFT is in the big blind. Let's take a look at our next category. That category is Bitcoin. Time to enter the crypto space. You might be asking what Bitcoin has to do with poker or gambling. Well, with half the Poker Pro community heavily invested in cryptocurrency, the fact that investing in Bitcoin seems like gambling, I think it works. Nate, you're in on Bitcoin, right? How's that going for you?
You know, it could be going better, my guy.
What'd you get it at? Like 20K, 25K?
No, less than that. But sometimes I think about all the boats I could buy if Bitcoin just went back up a little bit.
Well, you never know. It does seem to very slightly fluctuate. You are on the button, so you will lead off our betting. Would you like to raise, call, or fold on this Bitcoin category?
I will just call.
We'll just call over to Smitty in the small blind.
We'll call it.
We'll just call as well. PFT, you can check or raise.
Check, yeah.
Check. Three-handed to this flop. Let's take a look at this question. What is the pseudonym of the mysterious inventor of Bitcoin? Answers, please. What does he or she go by in the crypto world? Nate, Bitcoin currently at a 10K, now 12K, now 8. You get the point.
Let's just get that to triple.
All right, our answers are in. Smitty, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
Raise.
Going to bet. Over to PFT. Can call, raise, or fold. Going to fold. So see you later, lays it down. Back to Nate.
I call.
Nate is going to make the call.
Bad move.
Before we look at what our players said, let's see what the correct answer is. Satoshi Nakamoto. Smitty said, Smitty was creative with the name that he used, and it was not the pseudonym that this Bitcoin inventor uses. Smitty, I'll let you say it, because if we edit it out, you know, it's not on me, it's on you. You said?
I said the creator of Bitcoin pseudonym. Hey, would you blow me?
And that was incorrect. We go over to Barstool Nate.
Classic.
Barstool Nate
True classic.
obviously knows his Bitcoin. He said, Satoshi. Judges, Satoshi is good. We're taking it. That is correct.
Not his
And
name.
Nate is on some kind of a hot streak. He extends his chip lead. Nate at 15K in chips, PFT in second at 8,400. Smitty, our short stack, with 6,600. Smitty has the button for this one, PFT in the small blind. Nate in the big blind. Let's take a look at this hands category. UFC in Vegas, Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world, of course. PFT excited for this one. Smitty on the button will lead off our betting. You can raise, call, or fold.
Fold.
Going to lay it down on the button over to PFT in the small blind. You can raise, call, or fold.
You have to make up some fucking chips, Smitty.
I'll call.
Playing the long game. He makes the call over to Nate. Nate, you can check or raise.
I'll check.
Nate is going to check. We are heads up to this flop. Let's take a look at this flop's question. This Las Vegas-based reality show is credited with helping the UFC explode in popularity. Answers, please. Love the show. It debuted in 2005. All right, our answers are in. PFT, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
Bet.
PFT is going to lead with a bet over to Nate.
I mean, I assume you know it.
We
so
both
I'm not gonna
know
waste
it,
our
yeah.
time. Yeah, I call.
Thank you.
Going to make the call to contain the size of the pot a bit. Let's see what the correct answer is. The Ultimate Fighter, 28 seasons and counting. This series is responsible for introducing a large number of future champions and superstars. You heard them say that they thought both of them got it. That'd be correct. PFT said Ultimate Fighter. Barstool Nate said Ultimate Fighter. Both of them get it right. Both of them move on to the turn. Let's see that turn question. The Fertitta brothers, who own the UFC from 2001 until 2016, also own what casino company? Answers, please. We'll take a couple different answers here. Frank and Lorenzo Fertitta, they installed Dana White as president. They sold UFC for a fairly decent profit, I must say. What casino company do they own? All right, our answers are in. PFT, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
Bet.
Going to bet. Nate.
I call.
Nate with the psi call. Let's take a look at the correct answer. That answer is Red Rock Resorts. We would have taken Station Casinos as well. The Las Vegas business moguls turned their $2 million initial investment in UFC into $4 billion when they sold it to LA-based talent agency William Morris Endeavor. Who got this one? PFT said MGM. That is incorrect. If Nate gets this, he wins another hand. Nate said MGM. Great minds think alike. Those minds happen to be wrong in this one. That means both players move on to the river. Let's look at our river tiebreaker question. When the betting line opened for the massively hyped, or shall I say overhyped, 2017 Mayweather-McGregor fight, online sportsbook Bovada had McGregor as a blank to 1 underdog. Answers, please. This fight not too close, maybe closer than expected, but Mayweather handled McGregor with relative ease. What Bovada opened this line at? All right, our answers are in. Before we see what our contestants said, let's look at the correct answer. That answer is 5 to 1. A little smaller than you might expect. By the time the fight went off, McGregor was down to just plus 265, about 2.5 to 1, just about half of the original odds. I'm sure there was a lot of dead money flying around, especially from Ireland. Let's see how close our contestants got. We'll look at PFT first. He said 45.
Let's
That
go.
is a little off. Nate says let's go because Nate had 30 to 1. That will work. And again, Barstool Nate takes down that hand. He sweeps level 2, but every contestant is still alive. We move on to Against the House, and we find our winner next. Back here on the big blind as I continue to run bad in this wonderful Texas Hold'em World Series of Poker electronic thing that we will give away to the winner of this episode. Could that winner be Barstool Nate? He has 16,600 in chips. PFT has 6,800. Smitty has 6,600 in chips. And now it is time to play against the house. They're taking their stacks from the poker table. They are entering the pit. They're firing off against the casino. So they're playing not only for a spot in the quarterfinals, but again, for this level. You know what? This gives me a chance to be a good hand model one more time. WSOP, Electronic Texas Hold'em, made in 2005. I think we're getting a software update soon, though. So while there is no prize for second at this point, second place finisher also moves on to our quarterfinals. Now our players have the option to wager as much or as little of their stack as they so choose. After that wager is placed, they'll see a video featuring a hand from a tournament and a multiple choice question on what action will be next. So, gentlemen, please send in your wagers. Nate, you can wager up to 16,600. PFT, you can wager up to 6,800. Smitty, you can wager up to 6,600. All right, our wagers are in. Let's take a look at this hand from the 111K high roller for one drop at the 2017 World Series of Poker.
He races to $1.2 million. How can Phil do anything
I like it.
else here but to get it all in?
No.
No?
I mean, if you continue, you're definitely calling.
All right.
Yeah, you're calling and evaluating a river shove. I mean, if you call here, you're basically saying I had at least 3 queens, given how this hand played, and it's a tough bluff on Elke to then follow through with like a over $1 million.
What a play.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean, calling would be bad. Calling would just be inexcusable on Elke's part. If he wants to continue, he needed to raise, which is a pretty heroic raise given the action. But it is the only way he could go on. And so Elke is going for it. He's trying to push Helmuth around a little bit.
Phil thought he loved the flop and the turn.
I don't know if Phil's ready for what's going on inside of his head if he folds this hand. Because he already has the thing with Dario and this, and
Right.
like Dario.
He just
4-bet
learned
bluffed
about
me.
Dario too.
Yeah.
Is there any way Phil would fold this?
I mean, yeah, if he doesn't think Elke is bluffing here, his kicker is never good. Elke is never check raising him with a queen with a worse than 9 kicker. Elke would just call. If Elke defended the big blind with like the queen 5 of hearts, Elke, or he has the queen of hearts, but like say the queen 5 of clubs or queen 8 off, Elke would never check raise it. So Elke check raising he's basically saying, he has a hand like ace queen that he didn't 3-bet, king queen, or queen 3, which isn't that many hands. He probably wouldn't even check raise queen jack, I think. I think that it would just be a little too aggro. I kind of feel like ace queen that you didn't 3-bet pre is like the minimum hand here that I would feel comfortable doing it with. I mean, so Helmuth could fold. It's legitimately a very tough spot that Phil's in.
All right, all the table talk from the Poker Brat. What does Phil Hellmuth do here? Fold, call, or raise? Send in your answers. Does he fold, call, or raise? Elke check raises on the turn on a semi-bluff. It's Hellmuth with 3 queens. Elke check raised the flop also. Hellmuth 3-bet that flop, and Elke made the call. All right, our answers are in. Let's see how this hand played out.
I feel like if you bluff me here, I'm just going to own you for life. It might sound funny to the viewers.
Wow.
Did he fold it?
Oh, Elke, you're
Wow.
gonna show.
Show
He's
it.
gonna show. Wow.
Oh my God! What was the odds in the day?
Wow.
Wow, we put in $2 million with a straight draw on a paired board. This is your great player. This is your great player, folks. You put in $1.6 million with a straight draw on a paired board. This is your great fucking player.
Well, there it is. The fold from Hellmuth, the semi-bluff from Elke. Of course, he has to show to send Hellmuth into complete tilt mode. All right, time to check out what our contestants said and how much they wagered. We'll start with the shortest stack. That's Smitty. He says fold. That is correct. Let's see what he wagered. He wagered 201 chips to try to get into that second place spot, which is good for now. Smitty has 6,801 chips after making the correct guess on what Phil Hellmuth did next. That was a fold, so let's look at PFT's answer next. PFT says he folded. That is correct. If he wagered more than 1 chip, then PFT moves into second place. He wagers 0 chips. And that means that PFT will end this game with 6,800 in chips. Smitty falling off the screen with 6,801
You know what
chips.
sucks? I didn't know it was going to be multiple choice, so I had no confidence in myself that I was going to be able to get the answer right. And then after I submitted 0, I wanted to go back and put 100 in there, so if I won, I would have 6,900 chips. But then I forgot to re-up on it. So
You forgot your brain.
That is.
I left my brain in Detroit.
that is.
Also, I
brutal.
just like to put a tickler out there that Smitty cheated on that last one. Many people are already talking about it. How Smitty's eyes went off screen during that last question. I just want to put that out there.
I mean,
under protest.
if I cheated, it's just knowing that they're going to embarrass Phil Hellmuth no matter what. That's my knowledge going in.
That is a good point, and we will have our security team investigate how Smitty has played throughout this game. Let's go ahead and look at Nate's answer. Nate said fold. That's correct. He wagered 420. Wonder why. That moves Nate up to 17,020.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, PFT.
I was giving a thumbs up. I wasn't doing the...
Oh, right. Yeah, thumbs up. Well, thumbs up to you guys as well. A special thumbs up to Nate, because he is our winner. Congratulations, Nate. You have won this episode of The Big Blind. You beat Smitty. Is that all that matters to you?
That's my best friend. I'm glad that he won as well.
Okay, they're best friends, maybe until the next round. Smitty is moving on to that next round. PFT, thank you for playing, my friend. I'm sorry it didn't work out at the end.
Thank you for having me. Just terrible gambling on my part at the end there. I got to take my hat off to Smitty. He's really good at getting away with cheating. So if you're good at something, stick to it.
That answer was sounding so classy and so professional. And then, Smitty, your response?
You're not cheating, you're not trying. Not that I was cheating.
Excellent
I was
point.
trying.
What a way to end this episode. It is Barstool Nate who conquers all, who takes home our World Series of Poker electronic Texas Hold'em machine calculator game thing, whatever you want to call it. Thank you guys so much again for joining us. Thanks to our crew. Thanks so much to you all for watching. I'm Jeff Platt. See you next time on The Big Blind.
Thank you, Jeff. Sorry for giving you shit about that one question that you definitely wrote wrong.